Welcome, everyone. We always keep an eye on the AI agent store. It's such a great spot for finding really innovative tools.
Absolutely. Always something new popping up there.
And today, we're going to dig into one that caught our attention, Appsmith agents. We've been looking over their website, trying to get a handle on what they're all about.
Yeah, exactly. Our goal here is pretty straightforward. What are these things? How do they actually work? And maybe most importantly, what can they do for you in terms of automating workflows? We want to pull out the key takeaways.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Appsmith agents. What exactly are we talking about here?
Well, at their core, they're AI agents, but the key is they're designed to be highly customizable and, really importantly, embedded directly into the tools you probably already use.
Right, so not another separate app you have to log into.
Exactly. The big idea is automating workflows, but they do it with something they call continuous context.
Continuous context.
Okay.
Okay, what does that mean in practice?
Think of it like an assistant that actually remembers the entire conversation or task, start to finish. It doesn't lose track, so it makes the whole process way more efficient right inside your existing setup.
Interesting. And who are these primarily aimed at? Is it for everyone or specific roles?
Good question. The website points towards professionals really focused on operations and efficiency. So think productivity teams, support engineers dealing with tickets, sales ops people, IT admins, automation engineers.
So people already deep in the weeds of making business processes run smoothly.
Precisely. It's not really pitched as a general AI toy. It's meant to slot into existing, sometimes pretty complex business environments and, give those specific teams a boost.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, the really interesting part, how do they actually do this? How does the automation work, especially with that continuous context piece?
Right, that's central. It means the agent is constantly aware of the whole situation, the history, the relevant data for whatever task is at hand. It's not just reacting to one command at a time like some older automation.
So it has memory, essentially, across a whole workflow.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Imagine you ask it to do step one, then step two.
Yeah.
It remembers step one and all the details when it tackles step two. It understands the whole sequence.
Okay, I'm starting to see how that's different. How is that achieved technically? What's under the hood?
Well, it seems to be a combination of things. First, it integrates with your proprietary data, your company's specific private info. That's huge for making it relevant and accurate for your business.
Not just generic web knowledge.
Exactly. And second, it uses something called function calling.
Function calling. Sounds technical.
It kind of is, but think of it like giving the AI the ability to push buttons or fill out forms in your other software programmatically.
Ah, okay. So if I ask it for, say, a customer's recent order history.
It doesn't just tell you how to find it. It can potentially go into your CRM or order system itself using this function calling, pull that data, and give it to you, all without you needing to switch apps and do it manually.
Wow. Okay. That allows it to automate quite complex sequences then, moving between different tools.
That seems to be the idea, automating tasks, fetching information, executing workflows across different applications, all based on that continuous context.
That level of autonomy is pretty significant. Does that bring up concerns about, control? Letting an
Right.
AI just run loose in your systems?
It's a valid point, and they seem to address it. The autonomy comes from a mix of that function calling and an integrated RGI architecture.
RG, retrieval augmented generation.
Yeah, that means before the AI generates a response or takes an action, it first retrieves specific relevant information from your internal knowledge bases or databases.
Okay, so it's grounding its actions in facts from your data, not just making things up.
Exactly. That's critical for reducing errors or hallucinations in a business context.
Yeah.
You need reliability.
Makes sense.
But to your point about control, the source material does emphasize that human oversight is still important, for audits, for accountability, and especially for those really tricky decisions where you still need human judgment.
So it's finding a balance. Automation where it makes sense, but humans still in the loop for critical oversight.
That seems to be the philosophy. Using AI as a powerful assistant, not necessarily an unsupervised decision maker, to really boost that workflow efficiency.
Okay, so let's bring this down to earth. What does this actually look like for someone listening, trying to manage their daily tasks? Can we talk specific use cases?
Absolutely. The website gives some good examples. Think about embedding an agent right into Slack, or maybe Zendesk for support teams, or your CRM.
Right, where people are already working.
Exactly. So for instance, in customer support, maybe a complex ticket comes into Zendesk. The agent, using that continuous context, could pull the customer's entire history, relevant knowledge base articles, maybe even draft a potential reply based on company policy.
All before the human agent even sees it.
Potentially, yeah. Or at least presenting all that information instantly. The goal is automating those multi-step processes that usually involve digging through different systems.
That sounds incredibly useful for support. What about other areas, like, say, sales?
Similar idea. Imagine an agent in your CRM. A new lead comes in. The agent could automatically enrich that lead's profile with public data, compare it to your ideal customer profile, maybe suggest the next best action, or even draft a personalized outreach email.
Pulling in details about relevant products or recent marketing.
Precisely. The sales rep then reviews, maybe tweaks it, and sends. It speeds things up dramatically and keeps messaging consistent.
And IT, I can see applications there too.
Definitely. Managing common user requests via Slack, for example. Someone needs software access or a password reset. The agent understands, verifies identity, and uses function calling to execute the task in the background systems.
Taking load off the IT help desk for routine stuff.
Exactly, freeing them up for more complex problems.
You also mentioned reducing human error earlier. How does grounding the AI in that private enterprise data specifically help there?
Well, think about where errors happen. Manual data entry, copying info between systems, forgetting a key detail from a previous interaction.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Right. By ensuring the AI always works from your verified internal data, the RIG part, you reduce the chances of it using wrong information. So emails have the right product codes, reports use the correct current figures, support answers align with actual policy. It boosts accuracy and data integrity significantly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Something else that really stood out from the website was the speed getting these things running in days, not months. How is that possible? Usually AI projects take ages.
Yeah, that speed is a huge selling point. It seems to boil down to the platform being low code.
Low code, meaning you don't need a team of specialist AI developers.
Largely, yes. It's designed for faster configuration. They offer pre-built templates for common workflows, HR, sales, support, so you're not starting from zero.
So teams can adapt these templates with their own data and logic without heavy coding.
That's the promise. It kind of democratizes the process. It puts the power to build these automations closer to the teams who actually know the workflows best, rather than everything being bottlenecked by central IT or specialized ML teams.
That accelerates things, getting value much faster.
Exactly. It's about empowering those line of business users.
Got it. Stepping back a bit, what about other characteristics? We saw mentions of a freemium model.
Yeah, freemium pricing, which usually lowers the barrier to entry for trying it out. And it's noted as closed source.
Okay. And it seems popular across quite a few areas: business automation, enterprise software, IT, customer service, sales.
Right. It's positioned for broad enterprise use. And the key tags you see associated with it really reinforce everything we've discussed. Low code, continuous context, RAG, enterprise automation, agent templates.
It paints a pretty clear picture. What about feedback? Any sense of what the community thinks?
Well, one specific piece of positive feedback highlighted is the integration via a Chrome extension.
A Chrome extension.
Yeah, allowing teams to embed and access these AI agents directly within their existing web-based tools, their CRM, support platform, whatever they use in the browser.
Ah, so bringing the AI to the user wherever they're working.
Exactly. It tackles that adoption hurdle. If it's right there, easy to access, within your normal flow, you're much more likely to use it than if you have to constantly switch to a separate application. That seamless integration gets praised.
That makes perfect sense. Ease of use is often make or break for new tech.
Definitely.
Okay, so if we were to boil it down, Appsmith agents seem to be about embedding customizable, context-aware AI directly into existing workflows. They leverage your own data for accuracy via RG, use function calling to interact with other apps, and aim for rapid deployment using a low-code approach with templates.
That's a pretty good summary. It's about making sophisticated automation more accessible and practical for various business teams directly within their day-to-day tools.
The core value seems clear: efficiency, accuracy, and speed integrated tightly.
Right. And thinking about that integration and the increasing accessibility of this kind of AI,
Yeah.
it really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
I wonder what.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, how might this kind of easily accessible AI automation, deeply embedded in our daily tools and truly understanding context, how might that fundamentally reshape, how we think about productivity? What does work look like when these agents handle more complex routines? Does it change the roles we play?
That's a fascinating thought to leave people with, the potential ripple effects on how businesses operate and how we structure our work. Yeah, definitely something to mull over.
It's moving fast.
It really is. And if you were curious, if you want to dig deeper into Appsmith agents specifically, you can find more information over at aiagentstore.ai.
Good place to explore further.
Absolutely. Well, this has been really insightful. Thanks for breaking that down. And thank you for tuning in. If you found this conversation useful, we'd genuinely appreciate it if you could take just a moment to rate us wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, it really helps others find the show.
It does indeed. Until next time, keep exploring.